Welcome to Story Ideas on the Fly, where we pull a random prompt from a hat and try to turn it into a story idea. Today, though, we're going to do something a little bit different, and my children here do not know about it. So, this is our Christmas edition, children. You have 30 seconds to come up with an idea for a Christmas story and write it down. You may not use Santa is an alien.
Dang it.
We did that one the other day, just talking about it. So, and I want to write that one. So come up with something and write, something.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a good challenge for them because I really gave them absolutely no clue. I was just like, hey, dress up, make it look like Christmas because, seeing that it's Christmas, in less than a week. So, anyway. Okay, everyone ready?
Okay, help if I got a good.
Done. Okay, put it in the stocking. Fold it. Right. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right. How long did it take us to do that? About a minute. No.
In there.
In here.
In the stocking.
All right. So now what's going to happen is I will randomly pull one out. Or do you want to randomly pull one out? We have Joseph here today. He normally does our camera, but we don't have Daniel here.
Santa's from the 16th century and
Somehow
got time warped into our time.
Oh gosh. Do we want to do that one? That was the one I just came up with.
Viking.
Okay.
Ooh, should we read what?
Or we could do all of them.
We could.
Yeah, all
Okay.
of them at the same time.
Oh, wait, quick question. The mic's on the floor. Is that purposeful or?
You pick up the mic.
Okay.
I hope we could be good.
Hope you guys could hear us, because apparently we had the mic on the floor, so.
Got knocked off the table. All right.
Probably.
So, Santa's from the 16th century. How did he get time warped to our time?
Are you doing all of them individually or trying to put all of them in the same thing?
Which one do you want to do?
I'm okay with seeing if we can combine them.
You can't right. To the same thing. Read them.
Okay, I dropped it. What really happens when you see Santa? Horror style.
Oh boy.
Dangerous living snowmen. And
the elves are starting a resistance. Okay, so Santa's from the 16th century, got time warped here.
The elves that sends him back to
That
sends him to our time.
No. Santa was and the elves were experimenting with time travel so that they could get the Christmas run stuff done more efficiently. However, Santa gets forced into our time, and the elves, by that time, without Santa, pretty much started a resistance against their snowman overlords that took over in his absence. So Santa is actually the
But then
leader
what really
of
happens when you see Santa, though?
Have it from the snowman's perspective and have them absolutely terrified of
So
Santa.
this is a horror story. It's told from the perspective of evil snowmen. Wait.
Well, no.
Dangerous snowmen. Of the elves are fighting
it's not
snowmen,
a horror
and then Santa goes back.
It's not a horror story because, well, yes, but horror style. Well, okay,
horror style.
But
something scary happens when you see Santa. But
right, but so the from the snowman's perspective, it's a horror show. But I don't think from the readers or the audience's perspective, it's a horror show.
I think it sounds fun.
the evil living snowman could come from when if kids see Santa when they're not supposed to, a new monster snowman is born.
So here is something. What if you had Santa from in the 16th century? He was, somehow teleported forward in time.
Mhm.
So he's been recruiting little elves and stuff, going, hey, there's a lot more technology. I can do a lot more than I used to do.
Yeah.
Maybe the elves went back and got him because he was someone who was back in, olden days trying to do these good things. And they're like, hey, you're the perfect person to help us with this. And
maybe he was also a Viking warlord.
but
That actually sounds fun.
I always like to
So what
reference
really
Violent
happens
Night.
when you find Santa at night? Scotland! Wait, no, Vikings were from Norway. My bad.
Yes.
Norway. No. Okay.
But Norway!
Norway.
All right. So anyway,
Yep.
so
All right.
Not
the
Scotland.
elves are starting a resistance. But suppose now, though, that the lack of Santa has kind of brought back up through history, developed these dangerous living snowmen.
Okay.
Okay? And so
Would
now,
that be
in our
something
present
where
day,
the elves, in an attempt to try to recreate Santa, ended up making living snowmen that were incredibly dangerous or something like
that
that?
could be the case.
You could get that.
If that's the case, then Santa does definitely have to be a magical being. Otherwise, why didn't they just grab another random dude off the street?
Right.
Enough.
So, well, if we want to go back 16th century, you can kind of go medieval. Okay, technically, I know it's Renaissance, but you could go medieval-ish and fantasy world instead of medieval reality.
Pure medieval.
Right. Do it all the time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, Vikings were way behind the Renaissance era. So.
Right before.
Some historical fiction is very heavy on the fiction side. Although truly historical is fun.
Well, I don't think
Or at
we
least
have
good.
to stick strictly to the 16th century.
Strictly
I think the person that
historical.
wrote this was just me, because I'm like, oh crud. I have to come up with something too. I was just going to originally push it on y'all and me, not write anything and talk so that,
There you go.
do something while y'all were writing to pass the time, so they weren't watching us.
This is what happens.
Yeah, okay. So,
That's on you, Mom.
yeah, okay,
That's on you.
That's me. Okay, so Santa's from the 16th century. He's been moved forward. He's been here for a while, and just accepted that he doesn't know how to go back because there isn't time travel. It was some magical spell, because there's magic. Then obviously with elves, this is more of a fantasy world than a history world. Okay, guys, help me out here.
All right.
I'm trying to figure out how to put these together too.
So the elves are starting. So his elves, who were actual more fantasy elves, were trying to get a new Santa, and ended up creating these dangerous snowmen. Now these dangerous snowmen have become snow monsters by our time. Okay, because they've had a lot of years,
and they've taken over the North Pole.
They could take over the North Pole, or they could have been stayed up north or something, and now they're starting to invade the people.
Yeah. Ooh, that could be fun.
Right. And so now, instead of a let's save Christmas, or let's save the North Pole, or let's save Santa, we've got
Santa's got to save the world.
Yes, Santa's got to save the world.
Sweet.
And his elves.
Norway forever.
Actually, honestly, a lot of this seems to suggest the idea of we want to make Santa the villain.
Why?
Really?
Okay, so one of them is that seeing Santa is dangerous. Another of the big ones is that the elves are causing a revolution. The other two, one says there are dangerous snowman, and the other one says there is time travel involved. Honestly, what this sounds like to me is that Santa is a being that can see basically everything that's going on simultaneously, and that's how he does stuff like make the naughty and nice list. But since it was starting to since population started to grow to the point where he couldn't really properly go and visit everyone in a single night, he and the elves started working on trying to figure out some kind of time manipulating magic, and instead of being able to slow down time so that he could go around and do everything faster, it ended up sending him to the 21st century, where, in the meantime, the elves started trying to figure out how to make a new Santa, because you can't really do that properly, and in their magical experiments to try to do that, they ended up making the snowman, blah 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 blah. But what happens if you have a being who can sense everything everyone is doing simultaneously suddenly come to the 21st century? What do you think that would do to them?
Could be interesting.
They would go mad and probably start hating humanity.
Another
Go on the internet for like 5 seconds. You'll start hating humanity.
Okay, here's an interesting thing too. What if you have a Santa Claus and he's perfectly nice, Santa with his little elves, but they create the time travel to try to be more efficient on how do we get to so many places? We've got to be able to wormhole. We've got to be able to time travel, and it works sort of. But what it does is it brings Santa and the elves back from the 17th century, and these people have a different kind of magic. And so now we've got a war between the two Santas and their elves. That could work too.
War between the Santas could be
but I don't
fun.
think that
That's
really
not what your
shows the idea of
Okay.
seeing Santa is dangerous.
Okay.
Which, in this case, what I was going with is that if you don't have some kind of magical protection against him, then if you see Santa,
Wait.
there's a chance you might see everything he sees, which would overload your mind and kind of make you go insane.
But
Okay.
You could have
the elves deal with it then.
You could
Have magical protection against.
Okay.
What you really see
Okay.
when you see Santa, it could, if you see Santa,
Okay.
create evil snowman. Go ahead.
You could have it so that both Santas have some kind of curse with something that happens when you see them, and both of them are bad. However, one is still the good guy. He's just a good guy that's cursed.
Yeah, you could have more than one Santa because it would make things more efficient and but
Basically, this begs the question of: is this something where we're having a war between two Santa Clauses, or is this something where we're having a war of elves against Santa Claus?
You could go either way.
I think
Which
that
way
this
do you
sounds
wanna
like
go?
it leans a
Time
little more
travel.
towards elves
Michael.
against Santa.
Okay.
We have time travel. You realize the paradoxes we can cause here, right? We pull in another Santa
From 3 seconds ago?
No, but like pull in another Santa, like from the future after Santa dies, and then he pretty much time travels into the past to kill the actual Santa so that he can then take over the North Pole. And this is why.
Wait,
This
which
is,
kind of time travel are we dealing with here?
this is such a touching Christmas story you want to show to your children, right? All right, now go for
Oh, and the new Santa is also German and slowly turning into a goat demon. No, and
Krampus, if you don't get the reference.
yeah.
Okay. We've got to have him on more often. You're going to become a regular.
Okay, I do like the idea of adding in Krampus, but honestly, I still think that this seems like something where it makes more sense to have it so that we have one Santa Claus that we're trying to fight against.
Okay.
Yeah,
Krampus
Krampus
elves having a
Krampus
revolution.
is kind of Santa Claus. He's
Hey,
Santa Claus
no,
that's
no.
slowly turning into Krampus.
The Christmas story I want to use uses Krampus. Let's not use it here.
A lot of Christmas stories use
I know.
Krampus.
Okay.
That's
so-
like saying the fantasy story I'm using has fireballs.
Oh, duh. All right. So what are we going to do? So let's just pick an idea. Tell us what we're going with, and we'll go with it.
Well, the one that makes most sense to me is the idea that Santa has come to the 21st century and then goes mad, and now the elves have to try to stop him. But unfortunately, he is now using an army of evil snowmen in order to help him with his goal.
And I think what it is, so that this doesn't become too horror style, even though it does say horror style, because we want this to be something you can watch with the family, is Santa has...
You realize Violent Night is a Christmas story, right?
There's a reason I haven't watched it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, let's say that Santa, though, to do this...
Well, that is actually kind of a touching story at times.
Do we all break into the night Santa went crazy now? Because, yes, it would be. But I think that the end isn't we go and kill Santa. That's going to give kids nightmares. The end is we break the curse, we fix the problem, and Santa's back, and okay, we're going to have Christmas.
I still think having a second, cursed Santa that is slowly turning into Krampus, but it still is Santa.
The curse.
Still
the idea that they ended up trying to replace Santa after he disappeared, and now there is a second Santa, and the old Santa that came back here from the 16th century is going mad.
Yeah.
And he's the villain? Something like that?
Maybe. I don't know.
No, you have him, he's going mad, but it's not mad just because I'm overloaded with all this stuff. It's because the magic in the time travel cursed him, and they have to break the curse. We need to come up with a good creative way to break a curse, exactly what that curse is. But that's for further development.
Probably a curse that the curse.
And so they have to have some way to break the curse, and some way where he has to feel true love. He has to do something, and so, and then you could also
get 430 million calories.
Okay, then you have to get the reference. So then the thing is, you also then you could also have a secondary evil Santa that comes in, and now you have to get Santa, break his curse, and he has to stop the other Santa.
Could you have someone, maybe an elf or maybe someone who's trying to take Santa's position, sees this as an opportunity, it sees Santa in his weakened state and basically curses him so that he can take Santa's place.
I like that. Okay, just due to time, let's go with it. Okay? So instead of a second Santa, it's an elf. Who's our hero?
I mean, I guess the elves?
You're either going to want an elf or some kind of kid. I think those are the two biggest options.
I'd go with the elf, because the rebellion, rebellion can either be we've got a good Santa, and so the rebellion is bad, but since we've got the Santa's got
we've got an evil Santa, so the rebellion is the good guys.
So I think your love story is in your elves.
Yeah.
And
Never Shades of Grey.
And you've got a boy
An elf.
elf
who
boy,
likes to
elf
go- yeah.
girl, and they're going to go around and make this happen.
Save the day.
So we have
Right.
a hero, we have a conflict, we have a villain,
We don't have much on our hero.
we have a
Not a lot
love
yet.
story. Okay, what do we want to
Okay,
know about
wait. So he's a young farmhand who wants to,
You're thinking fantasy, not elf.
He's an elf.
yeah.
Santa's elf.
He's one of Santa's elves. So what
Yeah,
do you
He's the repairman.
do?
Could be
or
fun.
a stable boy. Remember, the reindeer still exists.
I actually like that. You've got something there. I hadn't caught that.
Oh, yeah,
Okay. So let's make him the boy that takes care of, he takes care of the horses.
Reindeer.
Reindeer.
They don't
Not
use
horses.
Sorry.
No horses.
No horses allowed. We use reindeer.
Okay.
All right.
No
he's
horses.
the
He takes
reindeer
care
guy.
of the reindeer